Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. I wasn't keeping an eye on the time. I was busy foiling away here. Hi, Melissa, and hi, Shirley. I wasn't watching the time, and all of a sudden I saw it pop up that there was some chatting going on, and I went, oh no, I better go live. So wait for everything to catch up here. I know, Melissa, you're answering Melissa probably, but I'm glad you're doing good. Kind of waiting for everything to catch up. Okay, I can hear myself, so I'm going to turn my TV down. Hello, hello. Give you guys a few minutes. Get everyone going here. I'm just doing a little bit of foiling here quick. So I have a few extra pieces ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and stick this through one more time, and then hi, Karen. I will switch my camera around. Happy Wednesday, everyone. First, a quick housekeeping note. I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera. Hi, Penny. Hi, Karen. Switch my camera around to the desk. Next week, I will not be live, but I will have a premiere video. I am having guests over for Thanksgiving, so I'm not going to be able to be live. So hi, Melissa. I think I said hi, but I just want to make sure I said hi. Hi, Mama. How was your dinner? So tonight, the first thing I'm going to show you guys is this is more than one pack, but these are the skeleton leaves, and they're on vellum. They're BRU 5315. I do have everything linked below that I'm using tonight, but except the foil, of course, because I didn't do that because I wasn't sure if I was going to use these for sure or not. But I'm just using plain old decal foil, gold foil. I cut the skeleton leaves down, and good, Mama. And I'm going to go ahead and put them in. And I talked to Christopher briefly. I wanted to make sure that he said recommended using a piece. This is just copy paper or cardstock. Hi, Walter. To use, like if you were going to use acetate to help. I'm using the Fuse on setting 4. Unfortunately, I can't move it on camera because my cord isn't long enough. But I'm just kind of foiling them off camera. So I will show you now. I did these fairly quickly, so I don't know if you guys can see, and there's going to be some pixelation, but I've got a little bubbles here and there, but I'm happy with everything. So this is the first time I've ever foiled these. So ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oops. 1, 2, 3, go. And look at the beautiful shine. So tonight, we're going to use some of my favorite items. I'm not going to say 1, 2, 3, go every time because I've got a bunch of this done. All right. And I am running everything through twice. That's just my preference. And so, oh, see, this one I did upside down. I did it upside down so it wouldn't foil. So hopefully I foiled it right. It'll foil right the next time. Sometimes I think if you do it too strong and they do it upside down, the toner sometimes, dries. But 1, 2, 3, go. This one wasn't perfect, but it's going to work because I actually got it stuck in my foil machine. Hi, John. How are you? From Orlando. 1, 2, 3, go. Look at how beautiful these are. So these are through the leaves. See them through the leaves? I think is what it's called, the skeleton leaves on vellum. So, hi, Kate. Look at that shine. Woohoo. And of course, cameras don't like shine. So I've got those ready to go and we're going to use those. But I wanted to get that out of the way first. And then we're going to do our messy. And then we're going to do our, okay. Hopefully, this is the one I did backwards first. So hopefully it works. I'm going to peek. Oh, yep. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oop. Look at that beautiful shine. Oh my gosh, they're just so pretty. So we're going to do a card challenge tonight, a CYOE challenge. This month is to use favorites. Favorite Brutus Monroe products. So what we're going to do is I have a whole pile. We're basically going to make this tonight, but I'm changing it up a little bit. So I'm going to bring that kind of closer. We're using some of my favorite products. We're going to try to make 2 cards tonight. Hi, Kate. I did not say hi. And if this isn't on a card base yet, but we've got some of my favorite products. I have Gilded Embossing Powder, favorite. Lunch bag, favorite. And then we've got this, the Ornament Gold Spray, favorite. So, and then I'm adding it. Thank you. It is beautiful foiling. This, we're using the pattern paper set, the Love Letters paper set. So let's grab some of our stuff here. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make a second card, and we're gonna use one of my new favorite stencils, which is Damask and Fallen Snow Glitter Glaze. I already have one done. So like I said, we're gonna make 2 cards tonight. And the reason we're gonna make 2 cards is they're gonna go fairly quickly because I'm using a card sketch. I don't use sketches very often, and I'll be honest with you, because they intimidate me. So I'm just going to cut down. This is some C cardstock. I'm going to cut it down to 4.5 or 5.5 by 4.25. Thank you. And I got that cut down. And then I'm going real rogue tonight, guys. No pixie spray for me. I'm going to go ahead and put the Damask cardstock down, and I'm going to grab some of my low tack tape. I don't even know what tape this is. It came in an event package, and I've been using it. We're just going to tape this down. I am going to cut it down a little bit, so it doesn't matter if I get a little bit on the edge in the corner. And we're going to go ahead and do it. So got one of my silicone brushes, my favorite, and I'm going to go ahead and use, I got this glitter glaze in event. This was something we had, and they come in jars like this, but I want to use this up first. So we're going to use this first. This was just some we got in an event, and I'm trying to use up my older stuff first. We're going to go ahead and this is one of my favorites. Over ink blending is so shiny. Just over regular cardstock, it's perfect. And the holidays coming, putting this on white would make you have perfect snow. So, I mean, I know you guys know some of my favorites. I'd like to know, what are some of your favorite Brutus Monroe products? I mean, if you could only buy one Brutus Monroe product, if there, was like the last time you could buy or something, or you could only buy one forever, what would it be? Now, I mean, that's not a fair question because I love lots, but I just was curious to know, what is some of your guys' favorites? One of the things, like I've said this before, but if you haven't heard me say it, I only usually try to go in one direction whenever I use glazes. I like to do a thin layer if I can. It dries a little faster. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it back in this bin. I really do like these silicone from Nuvo, because if it dries on here, it can be wiped off. Gilded, yes, Walter. Gilded is, I don't know if I could live with, there's a lot I couldn't live without. I have to have Gilded. Hi, Michelle. How are you? It does, Melissa, but I'll be honest with you, you can do it. You can do it. I promise you can do it. Now, I will say the jars have changed over the years as I've been up, so we've had skinny, thin drawers, and now we've got these nice, beautiful jars, but don't be afraid to use them. I use and use and use. I mean, I'm getting close. And actually, a lot of times what I'll do, and that's what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to grab this, because there's not a lot left in here. And I'm going to grab it out, and I'm going to go ahead and just put it in my normal jar. Because I am one to have I try to always have at least one extra. Once I opened a jar, I buy another one, or at least when it's half, I buy one right away. Just so if I run out, because I love some of these products so much. And then as I get to the very, very bottom, maybe just grab a little bit out. So I'm going to do that. Good. I'm glad, Michelle. Did you get any of the snow we got today? I mean, it didn't stick. It just snowed. But I went back to work yelling, snow, snow, snow. So now this jar is empty. I'm going to go ahead and just put the lid on it, and I will soak it up later, and I'll save it for, in case I have a gem that I have, or an embossing powder or something like that. Now, make sure you always save these pieces, I know the camera's doing hectic with my glaze here because it's just shiny. But keep this because this is what helps them from drying out. You don't have to use press and seal, or I never use press and seal. I'm going to put it back in my new box from my friend Treasure that I bought. Blue Sparkle. Got my new box that carries I got my favorite embossing powders in there. Or not embossing powders, glazes in there. My glitter glazes in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my stencil off. Ready for the reveal? 1, 2, 3. Favorite consumable? Favorite consumable would be, yeah. Oh, Melissa, you're not going to get a favorite from me because I love my glitter glaze. I love my gilded. I love my fairy dust. I love my embossing glaze. I love the ornamental gold. Chroma mist. Those are things I just can't. Look at this. Isn't this pretty? Now this is one I'm going to just kind of touch the edges so that I don't have those edges on the end. And I'm going to put this aside to dry. Now what you didn't see is I have my little stencil bin off to the side here with water and some of my stencil cleaner. And I'm just going to soak it in there. And if I don't get to it tonight, I will clean it up tomorrow. Let's put that wet one aside. Oh, it's hot in here because I had my fuse on. Very windy today. It was windy, but we had some snow. It's been windy. It was windier yesterday, I think. All right, and this is what it looks like when it's finished. Now, hopefully I can get my camera to refocus. Likes to have dark colors, not shiny colors. There we go. Let's see if that works. I'll bring this up as close as I can. These newfangled cameras just don't like the shine. So it's you can see the glitz, but you're not gonna be able to see that pattern very well because like I said, it doesn't like it, but that is gonna be for our second card. All right, let's get started. I linked something down below that is a Brutus Monroe product. But it is not available in the Brutus Monroe store. It is this wonderful, where did it go? Collab stamp from Unity. No, it's a favorite anything, Melissa. Anything favorite that is Brutus Monroe. It can be a favorite consumable. It can be a favorite paper pad. It can be a favorite stencil. It can be a favorite stamp set. It can be anything that is Brutus Monroe. Brutus Monroe has foils that are Brutus, like the orange sketch. This is one of my favorite background stamps. It is a collaboration with Brutus Monroe and Unity Stamp Company. I did link it below to this specific one. There are several on the Unity stamp site. It's called Wrinkle, and this is what it looks like. I have a few from them, and I forget about these. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my background, and I thought, I'm going to pull those out. You were just stenciling yourself with a star stencil with the yellow shimmer chroma glaze. Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, the shimmer glazes are beautiful. I haven't used them enough. Okay, what I want is we're going to use Jurassic, which I put. Did I use Jurassic? Yes. We're going to grab some Jurassic cardstock. That is our card base. Guess that's not the right size. I'm pretty sure if you read it, it says favorites anything. It can be a consumable. If it doesn't, then I worded it wrong, but it's anything favorite that is a Brutus Monroe product because everyone has different things that are their favorites. I have a friend who doesn't do any embossing, so she wouldn't want to choose an embossing powder. She doesn't like to, she likes to foil, she likes to stamp, she likes to color, she likes to ink blend, but she doesn't like to use like embossing powders, and she likes a little bit of glazes. So she would probably want a stencil or a stamp or something like that. So yeah, Walter, they're awesome. This is one of my favorite. I have some others, but I don't know if I put them away or I moved them out of camera range right now. Nope, they're right here. I have a few others. Here's a few of the others that I have. I have the Hit the Brick. I have foiled with this one. I really like this one. I have Heart Swirl. This one is Tuscan Tile. I should have showed you the other side of that one. Here's the Heart Swirl one. And they are on sale right now on the Unity website. Okay. And then this was the first one I ever got. It's vintage burlap, and I really like this one. So I have a couple that I'm thinking about. There's a couple Christmas ones I'd like to get. Um, so I've been waiting that. So um, we're gonna move on though. I am going to use the wrinkle. Oh, sorry, I shook the camera. Here is, I'm gonna use Later Gator ink, but this is the fun part. So my inks, of course, need to be re-inked. I haven't done it. Maybe I'll do them over Thanksgiving. So I'm kind of twisting it because they need to be re-inked and doing this, but I found this out last night. This is super fun. And I've never done it before tonight. I've never tried it on watercolor papers, and these are water reactive inks, so they'd be fun. You could probably do this with oxide inks too, but now here's the fun part. It's gonna make a mess on my desk, so I'm kind of got to push some things away here. I have everything in a bin behind me. I'm going to take the Ornament Gold Chroma Mist, which is one of my must-haves. I feel like this is something you have, it gives so much shimmer. I didn't shake it up beforehand. And got to figure out why the autofocus. I'm wondering if that's what I need to figure out, if I can turn an autofocus off on my iPhone. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to spritz this. We're spritzing this. It's a water reactive ink. And then I'm going to go ahead, and of course it made a mess. You may not see this on camera, but I thought it turned out super cool yesterday. And I don't even remember how much I misted this, but like try this with the shimmer spray, you know, the pearl. And then it's okay. And I didn't line it up all the way, but I'm going to cut it down. It just gives it this little bit of shimmer without distorting the ink. Like, because if I had stamped the ink down and then sprayed it, because it's water reactive, it could have ran a little bit. But oh my gosh, the shimmer on this is just amazing in person. And I'm going to try to bring it up and see if you can see it, but it is hard to see on camera. You can kind of see it. And I mean, you see some of the wet. What I ended up doing is I just leave this open until I clean it off to the side. I'm going to hit it quick with my heat tool just to make sure everything's dry. Because I don't want to smear it. Yeah, the texture from the stamp and then the shimmer. All right, let's see if you can see that shimmer a little bit better now. Pull that up a little bit. I mean, like I said, you can catch that shimmer. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? So it changes your inks just a little bit. So if you do not have the Ornament Gold, I definitely recommend getting it. So I am going to cut this down just a little bit since I already have it sitting here. I'm going to cut it down to 4 and 5 1/4. Especially because I didn't center that properly on my stamp. But I just do want to hit. So I do too, Jamie. It's so fun. I mean, it's just so fun. I mean, I'm sure you could stamp it with embossing powder, put clear embossing ink over it, and then do some ink blending or spray that the gold mist over it, and it would be perfect. So, all right, just got to clean up a little bit of the overspray here. All right, so there we've got that. Now what I'm going to do is, this is what I have done, is these are the OWH, the Operation Right Home sketches. I have them printed out in a binder, and I just have them folded in half. This is just an 8.5 by 5.5, or, you know, it's like half a sheet of cardstock cut down. And this is the sketch I'm using, which I guess I realized I forgot to mirror my camera, so we're backwards tonight. I'm not gonna fix it right now because it'll be crazy. I think. So I apologize for that. But this piece is our background. Okay. So I don't use sketches a lot, but I really wanted to kind of have fun with this, with texture and pattern paper. So I grabbed the Love Letters paper pad, which I am so excited about. It's so pretty. If you have not seen it, I'm going to quickly go through it. I always cut the top of my papers off, and then I just use this as my inspiration. The Jurassic and the lunch bag and the sea are the colors. I mean, holly too, but we're not using holly. And I've already used a couple of them, so I'm just going to kind of go through these very quickly and show you. This is the pattern paper we're going to use tonight. So I'm going to pull one of those out. And then we've got kind of the frayed, and then I'll quickly show you the other side too. They're just beautiful. And then this is the other side. There's that one and that one, like old letters, old papers. There's these two. And then the last but not least is this one. Oh, that's just so pretty. I love the colors. So I wanted to show those to you really quick. And this is the one we're going to use tonight. And my pattern paper is 1 1/4 by 3 3/4. And they're going to go this way. So I'm using this to cut. So that means I want to cut the longer one first because they're horizontal. So I'm going to cut them to 3 1/4. Measure twice, cut once. And then I'm just going to cut them down to 1 1/4. Now they're not specifically like a star of the show for this one, but these pattern papers can very much be a star. But I love just the little bit of accent they add to this. And they're going to go right here. But I really wanted to tie them in a little bit. Now there's 2 ways you could do that. You could use the ornament gold in spray paint and mist them. On my sample, I used the embossing ink and ran it over the edge. I think tonight we're going to do something I haven't done before. We're going to go ahead and spritz them with I'm going to turn my fuse back on quick. No, I'm not, because I unplugged it. I can't reach it. Sorry about that. I do too. It's beautiful. I can't wait to use it. We're going to go ahead and I can splatter with some shimmer glaze, but I want to use, which is a favorite of mine, but I want to use the gilded embossing powder. So what I'm going to do is grab the embossing glaze. Hi, Jerry. How are you? And I'm going to go ahead and just wipe that off. And we're just going to kind of very much add just a little bit here and there. And then I'm going to splatter a little bit on here. And I'm just kind of adding a little on the edges because I don't want to cover up too much. And then I'm going to go ahead and maybe dot it. And then I'm going to try to splatter just a little bit. This doesn't splatter tons because of the, it's thicker, but I can dot it a little bit here and there. And then I can go ahead and, I just want to add a little bit of gold just to tie in because we've got a little bit of gold on everything tonight. And then I'm going to go ahead and just, you'll see that little bit of gold that's kind of just hitting. It's going to be just perfect. Just a little bit of extra gold. Nothing perfect. It's very random and organic. I guess it would be organic. Hi, Ellen. How are you? And they're just throwing on some of this gilded. Like I said, we're using lots of my favorites tonight. Now, the one thing we did not use that is one of my favorites is pearl. You know me and the pearl, but we're skipping pearl. Well, maybe we'll use pearl on our other card because we've got the glitter glaze. So I'm going to try to grab these up. I shouldn't have set them on my table. And then I'm just keep this off to the side on my arm, and I'm just going to quick feet set these. They're kind of quick and easy cards. What I like about the embossing glaze is a little bit thicker. So when you see, like you can see down in the, down in the corner there, it's a little bit thicker. It's kind of hard to see on the camera. And then in the other spots, it's more with like when you use the embossing powder. So you can get really thick, kind of fluid, well, fluid embossing. Let's grab this one quick. So there we go. Yep, it's a little chilly here too. We've got our, thank you. I love that look too, Jerry. So I'm just kind of see if I can get it up a little so you can see where I dotted it and it's thicker. It's a little bit more than other spots, and then other spots it's kind of more organic like that. So we've got those. So that is our base here. And I'm going to put them down. Now here's where you could go change it up and you could use vellum here instead. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use the lunch bag that I used before. I'm going to cut my card base first. Yep, there's all sorts of people here tonight, Ellen. So, and I'm kind of just cutting a card panel down. First, I'll put it on a card base later. You know me, guys. I usually put that on after. So I've got that down with my lunch bag. And then my sketch told me this was 3¼ by 2. So I'm going to go this way first because that gives me this nice big piece to use in later. And then 2 inches. And of course, you can take a sketch however you want to you know, change it up a little bit. And then we've got this. So here is this. Now this is where we can take some things. There, one spot is not quite dry. I got to hit that again. Sorry, guys. If you go a little heavy-handed with the embossing glaze, it takes a little bit longer to dry, just so you know. Like you can see, it still looks a little wet here. I got it really, really damp right there. So I'm gonna, it was really thick. And then you can make it very, very, just know that if you're heavy-handed, you can make it a little bit more wet. And that little piece underneath that it's okay. All right, so we've got this. Now this is, uh, Ellen, they've already reordered it. I didn't get to order any either. I couldn't believe it was sold out this morning. I double checked with Heather first thing this morning, and she said they've already reordered. So I didn't order any of it myself. I should have last night. It was in my cart, but I had already placed my Hanukkah order, and I didn't know that was going to be available, so I didn't order it. And then, of course, it sold out. So what I did on my original is I used the Look for the Leaves stamp set, and I stamped it in the gilded. The Wings of Love, I think is what it's called, Jerry. Sold out the 6x6 pattern paper. I believe there were still some of the cardinal panels still in stock earlier today. But I know that they reordered the 6x6 paper pad. I double checked and because I asked if I should wait to order or if they ordered them all. So but what I was saying is this Look for Them in the Leaves stamp set also has a coordinating stencil, which is on the other side of the room. And it has a coordinating die called Look for Them in the Leaves coordinating die. And these leaves will cut out these skeleton leaves. Isn't that awesome? So I know it's fuzzy. It gets fuzzy because of that glittery, like I said, the white, the glitter. I'm gonna have to figure out if there's a better way, like I said, with my camera. Yes, I was like, oh no, I really wanted that paper. I mean, of course, I can wait. I don't want to wait, but I want that paper. Right? It's beautiful. So I was glad that I got the love letter stuff in the mail last week so I could use that tonight. The paper pad, because it's just so pretty. I actually would like to order a couple more just because I would like to use them. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to not touch the foil with my tape. And then I have plenty cut here. I don't think I'm going to cut them all out, use them. You could use them as black and white. but because I wanted to kind of add them. I did not stamp these leaves, Jamie. I will show you once again here. There is a stamp set. This one, here, I'll see if I can get up close. So this one is stamped. Okay, and I know it's glitter. So that one was stamped out, Jamie, with this look for them in the leaves stamp set. And I did link this in the description box. And like I said, it does have a matching die, which I linked. I did not link the stencil. But if you do look for the leaves, you can look for them in the leaves. You can find that. But what I used for my is, where did I put it? I used the skeleton leaves vellum. And this is BRU 5315. Like I said, I did link it below. This is more than one pack. I'm not exactly sure. I think you get 5. Do you get maybe? I don't know for sure how many you get in a pack. I'm sorry, but though that's what these are. And I then yes, you could color the leaves. Yes, you could. And I'll grab the stencil. I can see it if you guys don't mind. You can color them because they're on vellum. Here is the stencil. So I just wanted to show you that. Okay. 2 sheets per pack. Okay, I might have three packs, Ellen. Thank you. You know, here, and then here's this one. The only one does it fit this one? It does. And then there's that one. And then of course this also fits. Here is the stamp. So it just fits kind of like perfectly with them. Here's this one. I was gonna say, I don't think this was the only one. It doesn't have a stencil or a die, but the other 3 big ones too. And then there is a, I am here for you, and look for them in the leaves sentiment. And there are not, and this is what they look like actually stamped out. My second card will go quickly. These are actually stamped out with the Roy ink pad. Isn't that pretty? I gotta move got my mouse is right there. Sorry about that. So this is what they look like. Oh yeah. Yep. So this is the stamp and the die. And then, like I said, there is the stencil if you would like. And then there is the skeleton leaves in the vellum if you wanted to too. And the vellum leaves are foilable. So that's kind of how we're changing the second card up a little bit. We're going to put this vellum leaf on here like that. See, this is my original, which has that nice pop of color. This is an orange. This is the wagon cardstock that I believe is no longer available. It was just on my desk. So I just grabbed it and tried it. So that is what we're going to do tonight to make this card. And then we're going to move on to our second card. We do need to stamp out our sentiments. So I am just going to grab a piece. I use job ticket holders. Oh yeah. I meant not, I mean now, not, yep. No, I understand. Yep. Nope. It's beautiful. I use job ticket holders off Amazon, like Jennifer McGuire has talked about. I just Google job ticket holders. I do cut the top piece off because I don't like that part. I don't need that part. And that's how I store my cardstock. And then I put all my pieces inside. We are using this Missing You die, which came from, or stamp, it came from the Inspiration Wreath, the stamp set. I just thought that was fun. This was from our Spring Fling event. Like always, you guys should see my desk. I'm working on a kitchen table and it is a mess. All right, let's move that off to the side. And we're just going to go ahead and stamp this out, and of course use embossing ink and one of my favorites, gilded. I mean, I can't live with, I have to have gilded. It's the only gold in my entire stash. I actually bought some more today because I noticed my bin looks like my little thing is looking thin. Now I will say I do have one in the jar, but that is so that if I decide to, I'm tired when I go crafting a few times a year. I'm tired of taking my big bins with me, so they take up so much room in my craft bag. So I have my 3 or 4 favorites in the jars so that I can just take that mini jar with me. So it is a fun stamp and die set and stencil set. I haven't used it enough, to be honest with you. But that's just normal. There's just not enough time to do all the crafting in this world that I'd like. So, all right. So I'm going to add a little bit of the gilded. And that. So is everyone excited for Thanksgiving? Can you believe it's next week already? I plan on crafting at least 1 full day, 2 full days. And I plan on doing some baking. All right, got our missing you. We're going to cut this out with a coordinating die. Unfortunately, the die is no longer available. It is out of stock. It was sold out, but you still can't get the stamp set. And I'm going to go ahead and use the die since I have it. It also is a Cricut machine. This is a pretty card because it can be, I'm a sorry card, I love you card, an anniversary card. It's masculine enough for a birthday card. Hey, Michelle, I'm sorry. I'll message you later. Okay? Oh, Jerry, that's horrible. We're not really having big plans right now. Like I said, we're having some friends over. We invited some people over, some family and friends over. It's just low key for Wednesday night, and we're having a taco bar. Hello, Glenda. And not sure we just told everyone they could come if they want. And I am excited to just have a low key weekend. It's our first holiday here at this house, so we're excited. I have to do a little bit more cleaning. My craft room is looking pretty good, you guys. I do need to. I should just do a live on my channel one of these days, and do the quick tour of it. And you guys can ask me questions if you want, like how I store things. It's not 1,000% clean, but it's getting pretty good. All right, so I'm just using some of this. Melissa, I'm hit or miss with it. I love Thanksgiving food. I mean, I do. I've always been one, even when I haven't had Thanksgiving, like for a few years, went out to eat for Thanksgivings. I always wanted to make Thanksgiving dinner myself just because I love stuffing is one of my favorites. I love turkey. Um, but I'm just excited to spend the day with my honey and the dog. I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to pull up my dots right now because there's enough glitter on the back of this. I'm just going to go ahead and use some adhesive. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Oh, good, Jerry. I will be thinking about that for you. Because of the glitter behind that, you really are not going to see that. I mean, you're not going to see that much glue. I mean, I can barely see a little bit right here, but I think that the eye gets just enough away. Now, one thing I did a little differently with my card sample is I did cut several of these backers out, but I'm just going to go ahead and use foam tape on this one. Change it up a little bit. Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah, it's funny because my dad always used to tell me to get, he's like, don't get anything smaller than this. And I never had a huge freezer. So I was so lucky that I live in a little small town that I bought my turkey at my grocery store a couple years in a row here in town, that I still have the grocery store. My foam tape got stuck. And they stored it in their deep freeze for me so I could pick it up in time for Thanksgiving and have it thawed out. So I always got a extra big turkey because I figured I'd rather have leftovers because I love turkey. And I have this hilarious video. I need to find it, of my son from a few years ago. at my sister's house. This is OWH. I'll tell you the name of it again. If you Google it, I'm going to be honest with you. I Googled them before and I've used them, but I Googled it and somebody had, I don't remember who, it was a while ago, had them all in a PDF that I could download and print. One, Operation Right Home. Operation Right Home. So I know it's backwards, but OWH. So it's backwards because I'm not mirrored. And it's Operation Right Home. And I am using sketch number 31. So it's operationrighthome.org. I don't believe they have any new sketches out anymore, but there are 259 sketches. Hi, Tia. So here is the basis of our card. We got to add some more bling though, right? We're going to use the topaz because those are as close to gold. You're welcome, Michelle. You can always ask, them. I know Christopher uses sketches from them sometimes too. They're good sketches to use. I like them because they have the measurements. I don't want to guess the measurements. All I'm going to do is we're going to do some quick bing, bing, bing with the glue. So if you got your goggles handy, I know Francie's not here tonight. Or at least I didn't see her yet. Put your goggles on because I'm going to get out my stick here and we're going to put some of them in. Yeah, small town grocery stores are great in some cases. Well, small towns can be great for that kind of thing. It's not hard to sometimes say, hey, blah, 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 blah. Yep. Somebody's like, yep, I gotcha. So I work for a company that works with I work for a real estate firm, of course, but I also work for a company that does some things with ATMs. And we get these big old like refrigerator boxes in sometimes, and I didn't know what to do with them. So I called the other day. I called and I said, "Homecoming's coming up. Do you need these for the school parades?" And when I brought them up, the teacher was like, yeah, I'll take them all. You just bring them up whenever you got them, and I will store them." So measurements are very nice, so I don't have to second guess. I really don't want to have to figure it out. Like I said, I don't use them a lot. I don't know why, but now that I have them in my nice little handy binder, I'm going to use them all. So here is card number 1. Card number 2 is going to go a little bit faster, just because I've already got the stuff done. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to use this sketch number 32. So we're using 31 and 32. I'm going to keep it off to the side just so it doesn't show us up. And it looks like my backside paper is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Which is, or 4 1/4, which is really a weird measurement. So we're going to move it to 4. I'm going to cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. This is the C cardstock. And I haven't decided what color I want to put it on yet because I have my paper here. This is the one I wanted to really show that pattern paper off. And of course, my piece of pattern paper has disappeared that I wanted to use. So I will grab another one. I wanted to use this one. Kate, it's okay. I've heard of sketches. I don't do a lot of them, like I said, but I am going to. This is the one I wanted to use, and this piece of paper inspired my stencil. So like I said, it's hard to see because of the glitter and glaze, but it's got that damask on it. And this kind of has that damask flavor in here. So I wanted to use this, and then of course I wanted to use it with the C. So my sketch says I need a 2 1/2 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the 2 1/2 down first. Actually, no, I'm going to do 2 3/4 because I'm going to try to use this section with this red down here. And of course, this sketch that I'm using here is landscape. We're going to turn it to portrait. And that's only because my stencil is portrait and my paper is portrait. So this will be 2 1/2. And I'm actually going to do 2 3/4. I'm going to change it just a little bit. 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. This is going to be the center of our card. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to chop it down a little bit this way. We're going to change it and make it a little more rectangle. There we go. So the 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then what I wanted to do is add a little bit of this red in here, and that's going to be pop. This paper, what paper pump? It's the, I believe it's the Wings of Love, the one that's sold out, Michelle. And they just reordered it. So this is the love letters. This one was still available. We're going to go ahead and grab, it's not super deep. We're going to grab a piece of this, the holly. I'm going to darken it up a little bit. And it says I need a 4 by 1 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. Let's see if this, what is this? I'm going to cut this to 1 3/4. And then we're going to cut it down, and let's just check it. Yep, we're going to cut that down to 4. Okay. So this is just going to stick out behind. They are really pretty blues. So we're going to stick this down here, but I want to deepen that color up a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my game over, which I'm going to tell you guys, I did something over the weekend. I went to the Ranger site and found some of the ink, or the ink things. They have the free downloadable, and I didn't know that. So I got that for my ink pads. So that made me happy. I'm just going to grab this game over, and we're just going to ink it up and darken it up a little bit. And if it doesn't darken up the way I want, I know what else we're going to do. Yeah, it's that. It's called Wings of Love, I believe. I don't know if Penny is still here. But I know it's sold out it's sold out overnight or over in the morning. So, but it's been reordered. So, it's beautiful. It's been a very, very big popular release. If you haven't seen, I have a new favorite coming that I haven't used yet, and that's that scripted stamp. Oh, that scripted stamp is just, I love it. Okay, so I feel like that's dark enough. It's going to dry back a little bit. So I think what I might do, just to darken it a hair, is grab my Gur ink. We're going to wipe this up. Winter Wings, thank you. I know it was Wings, but I saw it yesterday, and then this morning when I went to order it and it was gone, I forgot to look at the number because I knew it was gone tonight. So Wings of Love. Wings of Love? Winter Wings. Wings of Love. Okay. I thought it was Wings of Love. Anyway, it's a beautiful stamp set. I'm going to add a little bit of the Gur. The Gur is going to darken it. That little bit of brown on a red just darkens it to make it more of that little bit of a burgundy color. Thank you, Penny. I will tell you that I will be stocking. Oh, I didn't. Well, look at what I just did, you guys. Yeah. So we're going to do this. And this is our stencil cloth, but I'll use my stencil cleaner, brush cleaner, and clean that off a little bit later. Just going to wipe it so I get a lot of that red off. Thank you. Yep. Thank you, Penny. And now we're going to darken it up with a little bit of that Weeping Willow. Or Gur. This is Gur. Weeping Willow would be too dark. Okay. We just need to do the edges because that's all we're going to see. You could save cardstock and cut down these two small pieces. And you'd be fine. But I'm going to just go true to the sketch. All right. Yep, got to use a little squeaky clean. I'm using cinnamon roll. Or cinnamon hearts because that's my favorite, and it reminds me of cinnamon and Christmas. That smells so good. Yeah, I saw it the other day and somebody else said it. Now I will tell you, it didn't print perfectly. I didn't research the right labels or anything. I just used whatever, and just and I cut them down. I just had some return address labels. So this is kind of the basis. I'm kind of thinking that I don't necessarily like how big this blue is back here. So I'm going to cut it down just a hair more. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on an alabaster. Yeah, I need to cut this down to 4. And that's what I didn't do. I didn't cut it down far enough on the side. That's why it was looking kind of funny. Okay, so I've got that. We've got this. We've got this. That is the main focal point of our image, of our card. Now we're going to get this put together first. I'm going to grab an alabaster base. I'm just kind of peeking here. I'm actually going to kind of cheat for tonight. And I'm going to use this piece because it's going to go on a card face, just because, I'm going to cheat just a little bit. Cut this down to 4.5. I do this a lot. I cut something out of here and I'm going to use this just to give you the idea. See, it's going to go on this white. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to put it on a white card base like that. But I'll do that later. I'm just using that for a sample. Now this has glitter glaze on it. In my opinion, I like to use both tape and glue when I'm using like wet glue and tape. I like to double whammy. Okay, of course my glue gun is being stupid tonight. It seems like every other night on my every other week on my lives, this turns into a mess. So we're gonna have to fix that later. We're putting you away. But that's what they are, Jamie. See? So when I stack them on the side, I know mine are backwards because I forgot to mirror. So like I said, mine are sitting in here, so I see them from the side. And they're on, I can't remember if you go to the Ranger website, you keep them for all of them, including the oxides. I know Christopher's coming out with some labels too, which I'm really excited for because I want them to, they're going to be, I think, a little bit bigger. And I am going to use those for like my brushes because I have brushes for I have mini brushes for every one of Simon's inks just because that's the inks I use the most. And I want to be able to use them because they're pretty. I'm going to eyeball those. And and in my opinion, I'll probably, yeah, I have them somewhere. I printed an extra one. Yeah. Yeah, I printed an extra one. And then I just cut them down because they didn't print perfectly on this label and I didn't research it enough. I just decided it worked for me and I cut them small like that. And I can see them. So they worked perfect for me. Thank you, Penny. Because for the most part, I don't really need to see the name so much as I need to see the color. I mean, I have them in rainbow order, but now that I can kind of see, and I can see them, the only one I can't see was my Crown Me because my purple didn't print properly. So I used the ink to, I'm thinking that I needed to replace an ink cartridge. So I just colored it with the Crown Me color. All right, there we got our base piece. No, I didn't. I did them this weekend and I put them on. So I did. I found them on the website and then I cut them down. And that's why I didn't get as much created done as I needed to because I was doing that. All right, we got to grab our splat box because I want to add a little bit more of this fun color. And what we're going to do to add the color is I'm going to use the cranberry aqua pigment. Okay. So this is one that, you need to make sure you mix them really good. Check your aqua pigments. I shake them up real good. And if you see in the little camera there, I'm shaking it up. And then one thing I wanted to point out, make sure that you also squirt out what's inside the eyedropper because you want to make it all so that it's all the same colors. And then I'm going to grab my Stick and Stamp pigment palette. And I'm going to put some on there. Kind of hold it. Hopefully it doesn't tilt. And I am going to spray this with just a teeny bit of water. And that's only because I want to be able to get some splatter. I just want to add a little splatter of this. So I'm going to grab some of this, and it depends on which ones you use. I'm just going to add a little, I just want to add a little bit more of that red color. And I'm kind of trying to concentrate it on the background, but I don't care so much if it gets everywhere. And then I'm gonna put that aside to dry. Use that up later. And then we're gonna hit this quick with my heat gun just to set it. And then I really didn't come much farther than this with this one, but I have an idea of what I'm gonna do. I just knew this was kind of the base. Just gonna heat set it. It don't take long to dry because it's just some splatter. That works. Just a little bit of splatter. Now I noticed my glue is, or I didn't get enough glue in here. There's 2 layers here. So I'm gonna stick my glue down here underneath and just squirt a little bit of glue. I got this tip from Jennifer McGuire and just squirt it down underneath. I've got this nice thin tip on this and that will help do that. And push that down a minute. Do I have a couple of blocks here that I can push on there? And then we're gonna go ahead and add some more color to this. So I'm gonna pull, I have a couple little things here. This is from the Acorn and Twigs die set. I think that's what I'm gonna just use. I have a few things pulled out from my lives a couple of weeks ago. This is the Lagoon, which is a deeper blue. So I have a couple there. I'm just gonna let that sit for a minute. Here's one out of vellum. We're just gonna add just another little thing. I have a thanks cut from that Christopher thing, but this isn't the right color, so I'm just kind of playing a little. I'm gonna find a sentiment here. We're just gonna grab one. Let's grab, where's that stamp set we used before? Let's grab this one and say, hello, friend. I think that's gonna work for me. And I am gonna die cut it out. So we're gonna go over just a hair because we gotta like finish this card up, right? I should have splattered some pearl on here too, because that's one of my favorites, but I'm thinking I'm going to use this one and we're just going to deepen it up. Now I die cut this out and of course it's split down the middle. That was my fault. So I'm going to just use a little bit of foam tape to hold this together. It's because my die cut machine was too thick when I did it. I used too thick of a sandwich. So you can do that. So be careful when you do that. And I'm going to go ahead and just put this right down the middle. And we're going to ink blend this up just a little bit to make it darker. Let's see if I did that right. Yep. It'll work. I'm going to darken it up just a little bit with a little bit of that brown ink. I'm just going to use the brown ink. Okay. Just to kind of darken it up a little. It's going to make it just enough. That deeper color. That it's not quite so much that holly color. Just a little. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop this up in the corner. I'm going to put it right up in here. And then, like I said, you can add more than one if you wanted to. I'm going to just leave the one. I like the one. I'm kind of going more basic in this. And then we're going to use some of that alabaster alabaster paper to do a sentiment. Grab a piece I have here. Okay. And I'm thinking we're going to go ahead and stamp it out. I got to find my Misty here. Like I said, I've got stuff everywhere, you guys. I'll stamp this out. There's my piece of paper. Awesome. Don't overthink it. Finally hit it with some sprays. Awesome. Awesome. That's, sometimes I think we have to walk away from things and come back, and that helps. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use a little bit of this Game Over, and we'll see if we like it. And if we don't, we'll add a little bit of that weeping or that gur to it. I'm thinking the this is going to be perfect. I've had to do that too. And it's amazing how sometimes just a little bit of a spray can change the look of something. I'm going to hit just a tiny bit of the gur. I barely touched that pad to it. Because we're just going to darken that just a hair. There we go. It's darkened just a hair. I don't even know if you can tell. But it's just enough that it matches that color. Okay, quick die cut this out. And I grabbed some of the, I think I grabbed some of the crystal because I thought that would match really nice with that Fallen Snow glitter glaze. And I'll have to grab a card base to put this on quick. I mean, I know I've got the alabaster background there, but thank you. Oh, go ahead, Melissa. You have a good night's sleep. Bright early tomorrow morning. It's Thursday tomorrow, so we're on the downward slim for the week. Woo! Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. All right, so, and I think we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to put this guy down here in this corner. Well, okay, so my die cutting plates, I need to replace them. So I got the little fuzzies. So I'm just going to rub my finger over them a little bit, kind of pull this off. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Melissa, for the compliment. I have really been enjoying my creating lately. Hope that's okay to say. And we're just going to pop this guy right down here. Hello, friend. And I am going to go ahead and just put this on this card because even if I put it on a card base, it'll just be a little thicker. I'm just going to go ahead and put this on here. Use this piece up. I mean, you would never know if I was put this on a card base, you'd never know that I took a piece out of that. All right, so now this is where we got to decide. I want to do the crystal, I think. We've got the red shift. You've got the red shift. They're hard to see, but I think I'm going to go with the crystals. So I'm just going to pour a few of these in here. And the reason I say that is because I've learned recently, and of course the shimmer is going to make it fuzzy again, of course. Sorry about that. Is that I found that just shifting it around a little bit helps them to fall to the right place. So we're going to go ahead and not overthink this again. Add a couple dots, add a dot there, and then put a couple of dots right there. Good enough. All right. Get your goggles out. I'm coming to you to poke. 1, 2. I've been loving 5 lately, I guess. It's been my go-to with my gems. 3, 4. All right. There we go. Oh, Penny, I didn't see that. I don't know. I don't need it. I don't need it. Thanks, Kate. I enjoy crafting. I enjoy creating. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy answering questions if I know the answer. So those are our cards this evening, you guys. I still have lots of little pieces here to use up over the next few days. Trying to use up stuff I've already had cut out. Here are our 2 cards. So I'll pull them up closely. Using some of my favorite items like the gilded embossing powder, the embossing glaze, the ornament gold. I mean, that shimmer on this background is, oh, you wish you could see it in person. The ornament gold chroma mist. We've got the Fallen Snow glitter glaze and the damask stencil, a couple of my favorite items, and of course the flat back crystals. So here is card number 2. So I'm going to call it a good evening. We didn't do too bad overnight, over a little bit. And I appreciate you all so much. Don't forget to enter the Create Your Own Ending or the CYOE challenge on Bruce Monroe Fan Club. You just need to use your a favorite of your Bruce Monroe product. You can be entered to win a $25 gift certificate or store credit to the store. It's a random draw. Have a great evening. I will not talk to you live again before Thanksgiving, so have a happy Thanksgiving. Next week, like I said, will be premiere video. Thank you, Karen. You guys have a great evening. Thank you, Ellen. I will see you guys all next week on my premiere. I don't know if I'll be in the chat or not. It kind of depends on who shows up to my house, but I will talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your week. Bye now.